insane. I love it. Let's get into it. I'm going to go ahead and tack that straight up. Well, we're back and we're doing some exciting work. Now, I've obviously got the body back on the chassis. I don't want to show you that side because I've already done that side and I'm pretty damn excited because it looks sick, like really, really sick. It's my favorite modification or customization so far on the build. Now I've worked it out because there was a fair bit of thought going into it, a fair bit of, is that right? Can it be better? This side should be pretty well straightforward now. I can get measurements from the other side. The trickier part to the second side is it needs to be a complete, an exact mirror image of the other side. So probably a little bit more fiddly in that aspect, but as far as the styling and what actually looks good, that's been done. So we'll get straight into it. We need to transfer any, I really want to show you, but at the same token, I want to keep it to a bit of a surprise. The idea behind it is to pump this detail out to minimize the amount of poke, and which in turn will minimize the amount of flare that I need to put out here. At the moment, we need to cover, like, if you've only just joined us, these are GU diffs under this. It's 183 mil, 182 mil. So the reason for doing this is to minimize, like I said, minimize that flare. But looking at that now on the other side, regardless of minimizing the flare, it looks fucking insane. I love it. Let's get into it. The main reason for putting the G60 over top of a later model, or multiple later models of Patrol, is because they look sick. So the last thing I want to do is remove the details. So the plan to do here is split this guard on that detail and pump it out. Now we did it on the other side, and although it was an improvement, looks tougher, but still keeps the nostalgia, I guess, of the vehicle. Although when we did it, we just pumped it, or when I did it, we just pumped it out. Marco had the suggestion of dropping it as well, to give, instead of just a flat top, it gives you that, like most conventional vehicles are, if you look at them, the guards will have a bit of fall on them, some more than others, but yeah, at least a little bit of fall. It didn't look quite right when it was just flat. So then I thought, and when Mark initially said it, I'm like, that's a lot of work to drop this whole detail down. And then I thought, when I was tinkering on the other side, I'm like, why don't I just cut this down here, and drop it whatever the required distance is. So I did that and made the world of difference as far as the appearance goes. So obviously I need to adjust heights here and here, but that's not really that much work for what we're gaining in style. So yeah, I've transferred all the lines from over there. Now I haven't completely welded that side up, that's just tacked in. The reason for doing that, and I really wanted to finish that side, but the reason I've left that is so I can actually see where my new metal is compared to my old metal. I've also traced onto a piece of sheet that side, so it should technically be very close to a mirror image, which will help with getting both sides symmetrical. So what we're going to do now, cut out my, butcher my guard, and then start to piece it back together. Okay, so now with my pieces, I wish that blaster was a bit better. I'd blast that completely, but I've done where I need to weld, so hopefully it doesn't have too much contaminants there. So this needs to be pumped out, sort of to an angle like that, and then we need to shrink this flange in here to bring it back on the contour to match the other side. Contour gauge, I'm just going to start moving it and see what happens. I know what's going to happen. It's just we'll gently move around the corner until we get where we want. It should move pretty quick. So just back and forth. And it's getting very close. Just distorted it a little bit, so we'll just give that a bit of a hammer and a dolly to straighten that out a bit. So I'm pretty happy with that first little part to be welded on, and I just need to, like I was saying before, the reason for cutting the whole thing off was so we can drop the whole thing, purely for looks. So that will sit in there like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and just tack that straight up. Might be a bit of a pain in the ass to try and hold there. What did I do on the other side? Can't remember. I'm gonna need a welder anyway. All right, that can stay there for now. Okay, so second piece. On the other side, it sort of made it look nicer if I created like an S-bend rather than just one bend in it. I just started with one bend, it just didn't look quite right. So same thing again, we're gonna drop that 10 mil and create like an S-bend in this section here. So it comes out and straightens up, and then the rest of the fade will be pretty well from here to here. So I just set my, and it's very subtle, like super subtle. So that one might be a little bit trickier to sort of make work, but I'm sure we can do it. Okay. And that's the shrinking. And then we need to shrink that. up here. Maybe a little too far that one.